Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Jim Dar's Tone Shifter channel, where we show you how to take any guitar and make it sound and play better. So join me in the Guitar Cabin, our musical sanctuary from day-to-day life, as we explore another really cool guitar project. I'm excited. Let's get to it. Hey, we've got another 60s guitar that's been highly modified. Had two humbucking pickups put on it. This is a Melody Maker double pickup. All of these Melody Makers have great feeling necks. So this guitar is the client's main guitar that he plays out with. Is his favorite guitar, and he's described a couple of issues with it that we'll talk about and see if we can't figure out as well. But he's described a volume control issue where it cuts out and cuts in. He's also described a screw that's loose here. He thinks it might have to have a little piece glued on inside to have it bear down on. But this is a great sounding guitar. Fretwork looks good. A few divots, but it's been played. Fingerboard looks pretty clean. Strings are kind of old, so I'll try to clean those up. He doesn't want me to replace those. This has been a custom-made pickguard to accommodate the humbucking pickups, and also have a toggle switch, an output jack, tone, and volume. The volume knob is missing. I'll see if I can't find one for that. Let's take a look at the back of it. Neck joint looks pretty good. No sign of any cracks. There might have been a headstock crack at one time, but it's been refinned. And judging from the serial number, it's hard to make out. It's probably a 64 or 65. I think it might be a 65 because of this type of cutaway. And it's got a somewhat of an adjustable Wilkinson Gota bridge on it. That these were popular a little while ago. There's a lot of wraparound options for you now, where you can take full advantage of the proper intonation with the tone that you get out of a die-cast zinc bridge, or actually some of these bridges I believe may be made out of aluminum these days. But this guitar is, other than being played well, it looks great. Looks like it had a tailpiece mounted here at one point. Let's have a listen to it to see if we can't duplicate the sound that was being described. Yeah, that jack needs to be cleaned. Well, the only thing to do next is open it up, take a look, see what we find. Okay, well, I've got it taken apart. Everything looks fine. There's just a lot of little dust and stuff underneath here. We'll wipe and blow that off in a second. Looks like it's a jack that could be cleaned. Everything else needs to be tightened up and cleaned up. So it's got Seymour Duncan pickups in it. I was able to get the pickguard off without having to remove the strings completely. I just loosened them up, as you can see. That'll also give me enough clearance to oil the board down here in a minute. But there's a lot of dust here, so I'm going to use my compressed air to try to blow some of it away. Don't know what that's from. Time for some Lube Job electronics lubricant and cleaner. Once you spray the cleaner in the potentiometer, you need to rotate the knob back and forth several times to spread it and keep it clean. You don't need a lot of lube cleaner, and you need to also protect the guitar finish with some cloths to make sure that if you get any overspray on it, it comes off quickly. Follow the directions on the can and make sure you use proper safety equipment. Protect your eyes, protect your skin from getting the lubricant on it. Now I'm going to use the guitar plug to clean the jack itself by putting some lubricant in it, inserting the plug in and out several times, twisting it to make sure all oxidation is off of the metal to ensure good contact. It doesn't seem to be working. Let's figure out what's wrong. Well, couldn't really figure out what was going on, so I took a closer look. When I tightened this jack up here, I actually moved the hot lead over to touch the ground because I'm not getting any buzz here at all. So this pick guard is totally dead right now. This assembly is totally dead because I've got a dead short between here and here. I don't know if you can see, this is right next to it. So the way to solve that is to loosen it up and tighten it down again a little differently, which I'll do right now. It's always something. There's a piece of solder in here. There we go. I can pull this apart and still tighten it. Jack is good, it just got loose, and that might have been the problem. That might have been twisted around there. Alright, so let me just set it gently there, and then we'll plug this back in and see if we get some noise. I want to check the volume control, the tone control, make sure the jack's not crackling, and make sure the switch is working properly, as well as both pickups. Okay, success. I'm gonna button this back up, try to figure out what we're going to do here, and go from there. Anyway, that was a bit of a puzzler. So what happened, just so everybody knows, when I tightened the nut up, I spun this around to hit the ground lug. So this is not the highest quality jack in the world, but I don't have a replacement. I need to get this back to him as soon as possible. Great sounding guitar. This is almost like sand. I wonder if they did a gig at a beach and had a sand fight or something. Woo-wee, a sand fight. It doesn't sound like fun. So here's a tip just for you. When you're tightening up any type of potentiometer, control, anything like that, what you want to do is hold the back of it. Hold the back of it so it doesn't turn. And tighten it up. That's the trick of the day. The trick of the day. That's the trick of the day. All right, let me slide this back in. Let me figure out what we're going to do here first, though. I think I'm going to take a toothpick and shove it down in there with a little bit of glue. That's the one it lines up to. Okay, we're going to go with a plan B. Yeah, I don't like B. We're going to go to an A. No, A didn't work. We're going to go to a C. I'll plug that, plug that, and then try to put the screw in at an angle, a little bit of an angle. And then if that doesn't work, we'll just have to figure something else out. Got my gel glue. Go all the way down there. And then nip it. Well, that did it. I got the pick guard back on. The screw is secured quite nicely. Put the guitar back together, strung it up, oiled the fingerboard, and it looks great, plays great, sounds great. These Melody Makers from the mid-60s to the early 60s are just fantastic guitars generally. I love the feel of the neck on them. Their pickup was kind of anemic compared to what was offered at the time, so a lot of people would put humbuckers. They'd put mini humbuckers. They'd put even Strat pickups on them to enhance the sound. That makes them all the cooler. I also have to find a knob that'll fit the volume control. Getting a Melody Maker or an Epiphone Olympic from the same era is a good way to get into the vintage guitar market without spending an arm and a leg. Well, the only knob I could find that could fit the shaft of the volume control potentiometer was a white Stratocaster knob, and the owner actually thought that was a pretty cool idea to add a little more distinction to his player. Anyway, these guitars are fantastic. This guitar sounds great, resonates beautifully, intonates almost perfectly, and is a joy to play. So until next time, thanks.